All right, awesome, everybody. So welcome for everyone who's jumping online. Everyone, welcome Russell. Just hopped in. We are going to be going over deals today. The reason why, 75% of the time we're going to go over deals is because every time we talk about a deal, you're going to pick up something new. It's just natural, right? You're going to pick up, the seller, what type of seller they were, where they were located, what their situation was. And every time it's going to give you more, almost like file folders that you can say. The minute you hear someone say something, you're like, oh man, I've got that file folder. I could pull out that file folder and use it now. I know what that's for. I've heard, someone talk about that type of deal before. So we're going to go over deals, and then the last 30 minutes, again, we're actually going to take action, which is the only thing that that makes money. So let me get in here. Here we go. All right, awesome. Okay, so, I'm going to call on you, so you might as well come up now. Let's just get out of the way. Come on up. Give him a hand, guys. Give him a hand real quick. Okay, so they're picking up leads and deals a way that I hate using, but it's not about what I like or don't like. It's about what works. That's what we're here to share, what works. So you guys are doing a pay-per-click campaign, right? So you're physically spending money to drive sellers and or buyers to your website to do business with them, right?
Yep.
All right, so talk about the last lead that you just picked up. It's not a deal yet, okay? It's not a deal yet, but if this is something you could possibly implement if you want, all right? Check it out. Tell them your name, where you're from, because everyone's watching. You guys come up too. You don't have to give them all, all the shine.
Well, my name's Brandon, out of Mundelein, which is probably 30 minutes north of here. So yeah, like you were saying, I was doing pay-per-click ads, and they would direct them to my website, and they'll fill out a form. This deal was in Palatine.
You're good. Go ahead.
Deal was in Palatine. The seller, they were an older couple. They wanted to downsize. And they already bought the next home, so they're looking to get rid of this one as quickly as possible.
So how far is Palatine from Mundelein, time-wise? If you're going to drive from where you live to that house,
With traffic, 25 minutes.
25 minutes. Okay. And they were older. Like how old?
Retirement age.
They were
both
retired, so
yeah.
60 plus, maybe
Yeah,
65
correct.
plus.
Yeah.
And their distress was what? What was their specific distress?
They just bought
What
a
reason?
house. They just bought a house and they wanted to get rid of this one. They're downsizing.
Okay, so everyone should be like taking notes on this stuff right now, right? This is like a seller ID, so to speak. If you're gonna look at their ID, you're gonna pick it up and say, oh, retired, downsizing. Okay, keep going.
So we set up the appointment. I said, let's get over there and look at it. So again, we wanted to get over there as soon as possible, as soon as it was either we knew they were interested in.
Right, so that's the action part. Let's go back a little bit more, Brandon, and go from the point of how you even get to know these people. How did they become a lead for you and for your business?
So they did the pay-per-click. They were.
And what's pay-per-click? A lot of people may not know what pay-per-click is.
It's just like Google Ads. So you pay to put an ad on. If you search I don't know, and those are businesses that pay to be there. So each time someone clicks on it, the business gets charged for it, and depending what keyword and stuff. I think it turned off.
Oh, you're good. Keep going.
It depends what kind of keyword. It could be more expensive than others. So that's what I was using. So they went to my website, they put in their contact info, and then I was notified of that, and then I just gave them a call, asked them all of those questions. So I called him. At first he wanted $240 for it.
So stop right there. So the websites that everyone has access to, you can drive traffic there. You have a seller website, you have a homepage, you have a buyer website, you already have your website set, and now you can spend money to drive traffic there. And that is very simple on how to do that. It's very simple on how to do that. Keep going.
He wanted $240 for it. So I just asked him the basics, how many beds, baths, stuff like that. Then I told him I'd get back to him ASAP. Then I ran some comps on it, found out where I needed to be, where the numbers needed to be, which was closer to 200, which was somewhat there, and I knew he was motivated, so I called and made the appointment anyways. And then when I got there, it was the next day, and asked him again how much he wanted, and he was at 220. So it was already, he dropped it.
Right, so he went from 240 over the phone
Yeah.
to 220 in person.
Yeah.
Right? So there's the value of meeting people in person. Like the minute they meet you, it gets serious and they're willing to really play ball. Right? 90% of the population who is selling will do exactly what they just described. Cool.
So then we went through the home, and just needs it's in good condition, just needs updated, it's outdated completely. And then I asked him how much lower he could go, and I think he said like 215. But I told him, okay, the best I can do is 200. And then he said he wouldn't make the decision until he talked to his wife.
Okay? What'd you do?
I told him if he could get his wife on the phone, and
And what happened?
he said no, she's at work. And I
Okay.
asked him. I remember last week what you were telling me.
Yeah.
I asked him what his wife would say about it.
Ah, so listen, this is perfect. This is what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to come, absorb this information, go back out there and use it. So you tried option number one, which is, hey, can we get your wife on the phone? Which would be a great option, right? But then the second thing you did was you said, okay, what did you say after that? He couldn't get his wife on the phone.
Yeah, I said, well, what do you think she would say about 200?
Right.
And then he said, he's like, I don't know. I think she'd be more closer to 210. Yeah, and then I was like,
But how does he know that? He's never.
Yeah.
How does he know that? So whose objection is it? It's his. Can't read his wife's mind from 15 miles away, right? All right, keep going.
and then I said, okay, 200 is still the best I could do right now. I said I could call my partner right now and
Yeah.
ask him if we could do any better.
Yeah.
But he said, no, I got to talk to my wife.
Okay.
I won't do anything without talking to her.
Cool.
So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna.
So either way, from doing that
Yeah.
portion of the negotiation, you got him down another $5,000, right? You
Yeah.
knew that he would probably do 210, right? So boom, you just got more money for yourself. Keep going.
So then that was it for that day, and we met up with him again the next day, and because that appointment I was by myself.
Right.
So next day I came with him, and kind of just
Who's
went.
him?
Romero. Rico Suave over here.
Father Suave.
Yeah, Father Suave. And then just kind of did the same thing, walked through the house.
Yeah.
He was pointing more things out, things that were wrong and stuff like that. And then sat down on the table with his wife this time.
Okay.
Asked him what he wanted. He was stuck at 210,
Yep.
and we negotiated for a while, but he was not budging off 210.
Yeah, yeah.
No, they were set on it.
And his wife's sitting there too, because she wanted to go to the other room. I said, no, join us. Grab a seat.
So was she a decision maker? Was she?
I think he was,
Yeah.
but he was just like using her
Yeah.
as like a buffer kind of
Okay.
thing.
Cool.
Because he would ask her, then they would speak a different language,
Right. Oh.
Chinese that we,
Yeah,
and then, so they're, you're saying whatever they're saying, and then she would just like yes or no. It was just like,
Dude, you
but
guys
she
gotta
really
get.
wasn't saying much.
You guys gotta get one of those things where it's like a little thing in your ear, and they're talking. It's like, and it's like, oh yeah, no, we're actually gonna do this and that. Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were kind of like, then I'm like, so you're at 210, right? And he's like, yes. And then I'm like, well, he's at 200, and he's like, yes. He's like, but I can't do 200. Then I'm like, I know, but we're all gonna work it out today,
Okay.
I was like, okay,
So when you frame that and you set that up, what is a question you could have asked to get them a little bit lower?
I probably asked him what was the least you would be willing to go on it.
Okay.
I mean, the least.
So this is great. I would recommend everyone write this down or record this, or if you're watching online, tag this portion of it. So once you keep asking them, what's the least you can do? What's the least you can do? What's the least you can do? And they get to the point where they just stick right there 2-3 times. Once you're at like a sandwich, right? You basically need to fill in the sandwich. They got one slice of bread, you got the other slice of bread, but you need to fill in the meat in the middle. So what I like to ask is, so you're at 210, I'm at 200. How close can you come to my offer? Because now it's making them to creatively think, okay, how much more could I come down off of my offer? So start filling that question in when you can. Once someone's stuck at a number and you're stuck at another number, say, I understand you're here and I know I'm there, but how close? Or what's the closest you can come to my offer? And they may say, I'm already there, I'm already at 210, but try that, after you've done it a few times. So keep going.
Yeah, what he did mention though, once they were like set on 210,
Yeah.
he said, what if we paid the closing costs?
Okay.
And then
Awesome.
Cause they haven't seen the
they didn't see the
contract.
contract,
yet.
Right,
mention
right.
it at all.
Awesome.
And then they talked about it a little bit longer. And at first they were, no, we're at 210.
Yeah.
We're like, you sure closing costs could be a little pricey?
Right.
And then we ended up, long story long, got them down to 208.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good man, guys. That's awesome. That is fantastic.
So with the 2.8, this without the closing cost or with closing costs?
That's with buyer paying closing costs.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Right, so here's the other thing too. So the property didn't need a lot of work, right? No?
It needed updating. It had
Updating.
a new roof, but it just needed updating.
Needed some updating. So it wasn't like your typical wholesale deal where the property's trash
Right.
and it's in a great area and it's perfect, perfect deal, right?
Right, cause they were living there.
But okay, so when you ran your numbers though, what was your max allowable offer?
Well, it depends if we're gonna be for a wholesale, was right.
Well, we always so the max allowable offer for when you're running the numbers is always for a wholesale deal.
Okay.
Now you can do it. You can have your numbers for other deal, but the MAO is really for the wholesale deal. And what did that number come to?
I think it was 210, right? Or
No,
I was like,
200.
200?
Yeah,
And what'd you get under contract for?
208.
Okay, so there's an $8,000 difference here, right? But they still lock the property up, right? So and I'm glad you guys did. I always recommend that if you don't know, just lock the property up. Let the buyers tell you if it's a deal or not, right? Put the property under contract at the best price you can get it at, trying your best. Then let the buyers tell you. Now you want to be careful as you continue to build a buyers list because you want to give them what they want, right? You don't want to just say, "Oh, I just got this property under contract. Tell me what you think." Because they're like, "Man, this person is giving me garbage every time. Like, I don't want to see this." Like, then they're going to stop looking at your emails, right? But in the beginning, when you're figuring it out, lock the property up, send it to your buyers list, and let them tell you if it's a deal. Does that make sense? Okay, so they had the $8,000 difference, but they still locked it up, and now they have options for this property. They can sell this property or sell this deal. It may not be a wholesale deal, naturally a wholesale deal, but someone can buy this property, put $5-10 grand into it, and keep it as a nice rental property. I mean, it's clearly livable right now, right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, awesome, guys. Give me another hand. That's fantastic. And at 6:30, if you have questions about pay-per-click, you can ask him.
Is it very expensive?
Pay-per-click. I mean, you set the budget. You can spend $20 a day on pay-per-click. You could spend $5 a day on pay-per-click advertising. What's your budget right now? Would you say
I think close to 80.
to 80 a day? So they're spending $80 a day on pay-per-click.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Gets expensive. You want to say that again?
Yeah, it's expensive.
You use it?
Yeah, we've done it before.
You don't like it?
I don't like it. Cause why?
It's expensive.
It's expensive. Yes, pay-per-click gets expensive, but done right, it can be effective. Yeah. Russell, you got some deals you want to talk about?
Sure. Does anyone
Let's-
else have any deals they wanna, maybe they're analyzing
Yes.
right now? Or you guys
Yes.
have any deals you guys wanna come up and talk about?
I just saw a finger tap, so that means we got something. We got one over there.
We want you to bring your deal here, and then we analyze it, and then we can come up with the offer.
Yeah, so for everyone who's sending like 1,000 emails throughout the week, analyze this deal, analyze that deal. This is the time.
Well, for that one,
I didn't know that about the deals that I'm working on.
Say it again?
for that one, for example,
Yeah.
the specific one we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because it's such a tight margin we're talking about, and he wants to close quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at that in regards to what other options we had with that, because we were gonna offer, the straight option, we're gonna offer the lease option, we're gonna offer a few things, but he's like, no. He wants to close on it quick.
Okay.
For an investor, however, and we did bring an investor to look at it,
Mm-hmm.
and he used more around 195.
Yep.
Okay, so now we're like, now we're kinda trying to, we'll we'll ask these guys when we're here, see what you guys say,
Yeah.
See what ideas you come up with.
You'll talk about, finding your own buyers right now? For
Yeah,
the-
we can talk about finding your own buyers, but I think mainly what they're talking about is like the fact that they have a wholesale deal, that they can't, the guy doesn't want to rent, right?
No,
Or do you know if he wants to rent?
No, he wants to get,
He just wants to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned to me he doesn't want to put it on the MLS.
No, I said he would rather drop the price.
He'd rather do it, right? So if the guy is basically pinning you in a somewhat of an impossible situation, what question do you ask, right? And because he doesn't want to sell on the MLS, he doesn't want to rent it, so you can't do a lease option or a wholesale lease option. So the question, you want to write this down, is so if that doesn't happen, then what do you do? If whatever you're asking for or what you think you want in your perfect world doesn't happen, then what do you do? Because that's going to tell you what they'll really do, right? They're going to say, man, if I can't sell it on my own at this price, or if I can't sell it, in 60 days or 90 days, most people who have the time, and ability and option to, they'll say, well, I'll just rent it until I can sell it, right? They'll say, I'll just rent it. So then it's like, oh, so you will just rent it, right? And then at that point, you can work to find a wholesale lease option buyer, tenant buyer, whatever, something like that. So there's always more questions to get more information and more details.
So in other words, we can revisit if we can't get it at wholesale.
I'd revisit it now. Because it's your exit strategy, right? So you have your 5 exit strategies. You have the wholesale offer, sandwich lease option offer, wholesale lease option offer, your straight option, and you have a short-term rental, right? But obviously those fall in a bucket. So I would almost ask them now, say, hey, if you have it under contract, so don't muddy it. So I would ask that before next time. Like, hey, if you can't sell it at this time, or what are you going to do? What would you do? I don't know what I would do, right?
Because we're gonna consider it, I mean, would you guys consider listing it, even at those numbers? Even though-
Yeah, email it to us, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if this is the 208 is a wholesale number, the net listing number is probably like 240, closer to 240. So there's probably a really good spread there. But then you have to go back and get that option listing from him, which he didn't want to list on the MLS. But we can, if you watch the training, we can coach you on how to say that, how to, describe to him on what's going to happen. Because it's not going to be like a regular listing where he's got to get his property all beautiful and ready and all these different things. It's going to be still a wholesale process and feel. It's not going to feel like he's selling on the MLS.
Yeah, just send us the deal, we'll take a look at it and see if it works out.
Yeah.
But anyone else have a deal they're analyzing right now, or a deal they made an offer on and they want to come up and analyze it?
Let's
Or-
say I work with another.
You got a deal?
Yes, sir.
You want to come up and talk about your deal?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you make an offer on it yet?
No, well, I wanna work with this other investor, he got a property in Naperville,
Okay.
I like to co-wholesale with him,
Co-wholesale, there you go, you want to talk about wholesaling today, right?
Let's do it.
So he's got another wholesaler that has a property he found in Naperville, looks like a good deal. So how do you co-wholesale with another person? The number one thing is just ask him, hey, are you direct with the owner? Because you don't want to have too many daisy chains. So first thing to ask him, hey, do you have the contract directly with the owner? Send me the contract, I need to see it and review it.
Okay,
I did
ask him a question, he said
Right, yeah. Because you don't want like 4 or 5 other guys in between the owner. You want to make sure he's direct to the owner.
Absolutely,
Right?
yes.
And after you see the contract, you review it, you see that he's with owner of record, you get it's called an option agreement signed with him.
Option agreement?
Yeah, as long as the deal works,
Okay.
right? You have to analyze the deal, make sure it works, right?
Yes.
You're on camera, so you know.
Okay,
it's on camera. So as long as the numbers work, you analyze it, make sure the numbers work, then you send him an option agreement. We did that on a property. You send them an option agreement, they sign it, and now you have the right to market it because you have equitable interest. Don't ever market a property that you don't have an option agreement signed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I said when you came in. Remember,
Yeah.
I was like,
So let's analyze the
contract.
deal. What's the numbers on it?
Okay, the numbers on it. Okay, the action 250,000, and he had it appraised on September 2018 for 395,000. Okay, it's
As is appraisal, or is that like as is condition?
Well, they said appraised. This said that he had appraised at September 25th at 2018 at 395,000.
Any rehab needed?
20K.
Okay.
It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Rents for $915. And it has a second house in the back. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and rent for $600.
How much does rent go for again?
The rent go for $915
On the whole
For the
house?
front one.
for the front one.
And then the back one is 600.
$600.
Okay. So about 1,500. Sounds low for Naperville, but.
It's small bedrooms. Okay, is that all the numbers?
Yeah, that's all we need.
Yes.
So if you take, was it 395?
But does the wholesaler have it under contract already?
Yes.
What does he have it under contract at?
No, he didn't. I didn't actually, of course.
Okay, so that's not, you gotta, if you're gonna co-wholesale, you gotta get their contract direct with the seller.
Absolutely.
Gotta
Right,
get
so,
that.
so they send you the deal first, so make sure you analyze the deal first, so 395, then if it's a good deal, then I would, approach like, hey, I can bring a buyer for this deal, cause the numbers look good, you know? If the numbers don't look good, then you just, you tell them, hey, the numbers are too high.
So what will run the numbers in the CMR?
No,
CRM.
I mean,
No, so all right. So when you get a co-wholesale deal, or someone's like, "Hey, I want to, I've got this property for sale. If you have buyers, I'd like to work with you." You have to get all the information about the property and rerun the comps yourself. You cannot go off of you don't know their validity, right? You have to rerun the comps yourself. And this is a huge seller channel to get leads. This is a massive channel. There are companies nationwide who only do dispositions, and this is what this is. There's the acquisition side where you're actually doing like pay-per-click advertising, cold calling, RVMs, whatever. That's an acquisition side to get sellers, to get leads, to get properties. And then there's a disposition side where you're selling the deal. You're becoming a dispositions company when you co-wholesale, right? So you still have to rerun the comps for yourself so that you're giving your buyers good deals.
Right.
Okay, so you have to rerun the comps.
So make sure you run your own comps, you get your own ARV, and then the repairs, that's what a lot of wholesalers do, they underestimate the repairs. So make sure that 20 grand is actually only 20 grand. And you do that by looking at the pictures. He sends you pictures?
He said, absolutely,
Okay,
yes.
how do the pictures look?
Look, yeah, I mean, someone is living in both properties. They look, decent.
Okay, so then you would just you can put it in the CRM and they should calculate it for you. So you would still run it through the CRM to get the offers.
Okay, let's say if I do, then I come up with some of the same, comps that he comes up with, in those areas.
So
What does he got? So he's got, everyone pull out your calculator, let's do this. Okay, so you said property number one had, so how many total bedrooms? How many total? So it's 3 total bedrooms, 2 total bathrooms, all right? Okay, and the total rent is $1,550. All right, so property number one, the sale price it sold for $262,500, so that's comp number one. Go ahead and put it in your calculator so we can do this. Comp number two sold for $320,000. Comp number 3 sold for $351, and comp number 4 sold for $365. So if you add, that's what I'm getting ready to find out. So if you add all those up and you divide it by 4, what's your number? Because that's 4 properties. What is it? 324,500. What was the ARV they told him?
395.
395. So the real ARV is 324,000. Who cares what the appraiser said? Who cares? This is like going to Zillow and saying, "Oh, the Zestimate was." Who cares? This is your ARV. Okay? So what's 70% of this? What's 70%?
226.
Anyone got any questions why this deal isn't going to sell as a wholesale? But there should be no question anymore, right? He's asking 250 just with the first portion of the equation, which is ARV minus 30% or times 70%, however you want to do it, minus repair. So we haven't even got to repair, and it's already 226. Now, if the repairs are actually $20,000, then he needs to be at $200,000 before he even puts in his amount that he wants to make. How much do you want to make on the deal?
Split it at 5,000.
5,000?
$5.
Are you sure? All right. Okay, so let's do it. All right, hold on. All right, let's do this. Okay, hold on. Let's put in the equation. Okay, so we had 324, right? Times the 70. What did we get? 226. Let's just take it at face value for the repairs, okay? Minus the repairs of 20,000. That leaves us with 206,000, right? And he said he wanted to make, how much you say?
Split with him, I said at least 5.
5,000. So that means you have You have to build in $10,000 into this, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that means you have to get it under contract for how much? 194?
Yes.
So he has to have it under contract for a minimum of 194. And my guess is the repairs is probably too low. Oh, that says 19. Say it again?
You mean 196?
194.
4 or 196.
Yeah, 196, sorry.
I think.
You gotta build in some extra profit.
So the 206 is what an investor would pay for. So
That was
you
my,
have to-
that was my coaching fee now.
Yeah.
Okay? So if he's gonna make 10K and split that 10K, you know, they've gotta ask a minimum of 196. So you need to see where this guy has his contract at,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
Because let's say he has it at 196 and he's just trying to make a killing on it because he's like, oh, it's Naperville, people will pay for it, right?
Right.
Like, dude, like, come on. Let's sell this thing for 207, 206, and let's make some money on this.
Absolutely.
Let's move forward.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe write down the steps of the full wholesale.
Okay?
So number one is, make sure it's a deal, because, you know, you're not gonna ask for the contract or sign an option agreement without analyzing the numbers first, so make sure it's a good deal first. And number two, you approach the other wholesaler and say, hey, I can probably sell this deal, are you direct with the owner? And do you, would you be willing to partner? If he says yes, then you ask him to see the contract. If you wanna see the contract, he has the owner record. And if they don't send you the contract, they don't want to, then don't do the deal.
We have a deal, right?
Don't do it, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mhm. So you need to analyze the contract, make sure that he actually has it with the owner of record, right? And then after you look at the contract, you look at the closing date, make sure it's not tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so make sure it's at least 2-3 weeks out, and then you would sign, we send them an option agreement. So the option agreement would indicate we're splitting profits 50-50. I do it where, you have an exclusive
Exclusivity.
agreement for like 5 days. Meaning that we get 5 days with the property, after 5 days, it's non-exclusive.
And if you can, get more time. If you can.
Okay. Let me write.
Cool?
Okay, good.
So you could work with other
Thanks, Fred.
wholesalers, but this is the, good job, man.
Okay.
You could work with other wholesalers, but this is the right way to do it. You shouldn't just take another wholesaler's property and start advertising all over.
This is how you save yourself time,
Yeah.
right here. Get, you know, and they should have their comps in their package, right? So you're just going on there and looking to see, okay, these are legit comps, these are not legit comps. You gotta rerun your own comps, right? So run your numbers, see if it's a good deal first, don't waste your time. And then if it is a good deal, you let the seller know, or let the other wholesaler know, I can sell if you're direct, meaning that they're the person who has the direct contract. Go ahead.
What if you can't find
If you can't find comps, I do not recommend doing this, but if you cannot find comps at all, take the Zestimate at 60%.
What you do is, instead of going 6 months back, go a year back. Instead of half a mile, go a mile back. If it's still
Yeah.
nothing, go a mile and a half back, and then go a year back. You know what I mean? So just
You can
keep going
expand,
back.
but it's sketchy depending upon where you are.
if you have a brick property and.
You cannot use a frame.
Right. What if there's a building that has brick and frame? That's the issue I was having.
I would say it depends if like the majority. So if it's like 60-40 frame, it's a frame. You know, if it's 60-40 brick, you know, you can
Is it
go
like
ahead
just
with
a
brick.
front brick, or is it,
No, there's some house where it's like brick on the bottom and then frame.
oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Those have brick foundations, so that's still, I would consider
That's
that
brick.
brick. Yeah.
There's some that the brick goes halfway up, and then the frame goes the rest.
Right,
So
yeah.
it's not just
Right.
the foundation, it actually comes up above.
Yeah. And they frame
I
around
would
it.
consider that brick, yeah.
Yeah, that's brick. That's why I just use the 60-40 rule. So if the foundation at first level is brick, it's brick.
So anyone else have any deals they want to analyze?
They have a question, go ahead. Lloyd, Sherry,
I got this deal.
you got a deal? All right, let's check it out. Everyone got this? Can I erase this? I want to take a picture of this? Grab your phone. Good? Mike, yeah. All right, let's give Lloyd a hand. Lloyd and Sherry are new to the Iowa Wolfpack. Awesome.
All right, I have a deal that,
Everyone, sorry, real quick. Everyone good here? Good. Okay, go ahead, Lloyd.
everything around us is business.
Okay.
Everything is sold, from Walgreens to all the dealerships and stuff. This one building that I found out, it was government owned. How many years ago? Maybe 15 years ago, it was sold at $350,000 under the government.
Okay.
But this one he just bought not too long. He said he had a couple of years.
Okay.
He couldn't get the bank to give him what he wanted on it. I asked him what he wanted on it. I went in, looked at everything, took pictures, need a pure gut.
Yeah.
So I went with,
So it's a commercial property.
it's a commercial property.
Okay.
We got 2 storefronts. We got 2 apartments one apartment on one side of
Okay.
it together, then they got 2 apartments on the other.
Okay.
Back, they got big drive-in, everything. I know it's a pure gut because I've been doing this for a long time. I went with the 350, what they sold it for 10 years ago. So he wouldn't give me he wouldn't give me nothing else. So I had to do my homework on it. So I went back to what it was first bought. So it was like $350,000. That was 15 years ago. So, but I'm looking at everything around it is sold.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that's haven't been sold. He's ready to get rid of it. He's the only one that got. It's clean. The contract,
Okay.
everything is
Clean
clean.
title, yeah.
Everything is clean.
So what's your question?
I want to know. I went to him in January. I haven't went back because I had to
Yeah.
take care of some business.
Yeah.
He said he was trying to get everything done. So when I go back this time, I was going to ask him, did he have everything done?
Okay.
And do he still want to do it? But if he said yeah, because he got other properties, the buyer, I have to, how would I get that buyer to come,
Yeah.
after I take all the pictures of everything?
Yeah.
I need someone to go, or we need someone to go in.
So
on that.
did you calculate the ARV? What's the ARV on this property?
I call it at
320,
325,000.
so you write that down, 320.
How'd you find that though?
What's the,
I was doing my drive. I just want real
Drive
estate
for
property
dollars?
only. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's the first one. I got
so that's a good way to drive for dollars. Anytime you see, anywhere you're going, you see a vacant property, you pull over, write down the address, and then you can easily, either
Wholesale about owners.
True People search it, or go to Cook County Records and you can see who owns it. So driving for dollars is awesome. What was the repairs on this? Do you know?
Pure
the estimate?
gut.
How many square feet?
What did I wait? It's in my book. It was over 2,000.
So 2,000. So
It was
there's a
way over.
basement. There's a
Yeah,
basement.
it's a big,
Let's say
everything.
let's say 90 grand, maybe 90 grand, just estimate.
Yeah.
90 grand. So what was your off? What does he want for
He
it?
said come up with a price because he already did his comp. He already
Oh,
did
okay.
his stuff. See, that was the problem. He did his. But I was going to, go back to 300. I was going to go 325 times whatever, times what I said at least about 105,000, 110,000 worth of gutting, and then come back and give him about from
So if these numbers are accurate, your max is 122,
right.
right? That's with a 15 grand wholesale fee. So if you can get him under that, it should be a good deal, as long as your numbers are right here with the ARV.
Yeah, the numbers was
Yeah.
right in. I gotta go get a copy,
Okay.
but the numbers was right.
So
I just want to go back and give it to him, but I want to go from the lowest to the highest. I'm trying to make at least about 30, 40,000 out the deal.
okay, if you want to make 40 grand, then you got to be at 82. So you got to offer him 82.
82 for it?
Yeah, if you want to make a 40 grand wholesale fee, you need to be, this number is the number an investor would pay.
Okay then.
So you know that's the max offer, an investor would come in and pay for this property.
And who knows how we can find a buyer for this deal? What would be a good way to find a buyer? Anybody? What?
To-
Maybe.
To go with somebody else that's.
Yeah,
JB
that's
or
fine.
something.
What? So a good way to find a buyer for this deal is look at the properties that are sold in and around that area. The recent sold properties in that area by an agent. Call that agent up and say, hey, I got a property. A commercial agent, not just any agent, a commercial agent. Call that agent up and say, hey, I've got this property under contract. You can add your fee on top if you bring a buyer.
Yeah, so driving for dollar is awesome. That's a good strategy. Anytime you're going to on an appointment to a property, you always pull over for sale by owner signs, for rent signs. vacant, ugly properties, get the address, write it down.
Yeah, and there's probably agents in that area who have their signs up in different buildings or establishments or whatever have you. I'd call those people too. I sell a lot of deals that way, calling the people who are already in the area.
Yeah, so make that offer tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm
Thanks,
gonna
man.
go back and get it because it's still under, you
Yeah.
know, but it's a good property because like you said, it's all brick, it's
Yeah, yeah.
perfect, you know.
Awesome,
Yeah.
man.
Good stuff. Give him a hand, guys.
So, what do you say you should be at before you?
122.
122?
If he wants to make 40, he needs to be at 82.
Wanna,
Needs to
go
be
over
82?
buyers real quick?
Yeah, we can go over that.
So you guys got your deal under contract, right? Your Palatine deal. So you need to find a buyer. You should always have bandit signs in your car. Did you have bandit signs in your car? No. So have bandit signs in your car because when you lock up a deal after it's locked up, you want to put signs around the busy intersections. You do it when you're there because you're there already, right? Why waste time? So always have bandit signs in your truck, in the back of your truck, right? Because when I go lock up a deal, as soon as I got the deal, I got the marker with me, I got the blank sign, dirt cheap house for sale, your phone number, 20 grand, cash, and you put it on all the Walmarts, the busy traffic areas, right? So to find buyers, the first thing you're gonna do, you should do, is the bandit signs, right? Because you're there already. And then you're building your list, so anybody that calls you on this is now an investor, you add them to your buyer's list, right? So now you're building your buyer's list. Anybody that calls you on the bandit sign, make sure that you get their email, put them in your in the CRM. In our CRM, it's under contacts. There's the buyer script in there. You guys, have you guys seen that under contacts? There's a buyer script inside of there. It asks the buyers all these questions. So you want to save every lead that comes in through bandit signs. You want to make sure you save every single lead. You're building your buyers list. The bigger your buyers list gets, the easier you're going to sell a deal, right, in the future. So the second thing you should do is if you wanted to sell the deal on your own, you don't have a buyers list, right? You don't have a buyers list set. You should definitely go to like if you have Redfin in your area. If you don't have Redfin, use something like Zillow or MLS if you have MLS access. You can go on Redfin and then look at every sold transaction in the area, and then it will tell you all the realtors' names and information, right? You can easily just Google the realtor and you get their phone number and their email. Hey, I saw you sold a property in the area recently. I have a deal in Palatine for 208. Is your investor interested? So the buyer's already there because you already know that someone bought that property and the agent knows who the buyer is, right? So you get agents. Another way is Zillow for rent. And this is all in the training, like on the after you get the contract signed in the modules, there's a module on how to find buyers. So all this is in the training already. So go to how to find buyers, and there's a video, and there's a step-by-step on how to find buyers. The next thing is Zillow, right? So if you have property in Palatine, I would actually go in Palatine, Zillow, I'll go to the for rent section, I'll get everyone's phone number in the for rent section. I would literally put them on a spreadsheet, and I would do a voice drop, right? You get everybody's phone number, do a voice drop. And put them, or you can just call them one by one. You can call each individual buyer, this could be agents, but it could be also a homeowner, a landlord, a property manager, right? So everybody that calls you back, you're also saving these agents because one agent could have 10, 20 investors on their list. So now those are your 10, 20 investors, right? So these agents that you're saving on your buyers list, maybe one of them has 1,000 investors on their list. So now you can tell the agent, hey, I get wholesale deals all the time. I understand you have a lot of investors that work with you. Would you just add your fee on top, and then you get your commission. So with agents is great. Like honestly, a lot of my deals that I sell are through agents that have buyers. So let's say you just get 10 agents that have 30 investors. That's 300 added buyers on your list, right? So Zillow for rent section, because you got to think these are people that maybe try to sell, or maybe that these are investors, right? People that are landlords, right? So if you're hitting everyone for rent in the entire for rent section, you're hitting all the investors in the area, right? And then, what's up, Claire? And then, another way is, same thing I talked about last week, True People Search. So using Redfin, you can see the properties that were sold, right? You can see that the property maybe bought for 100 and sold for 200. You can see the history in like a site like Redfin and Zillow. You can see that. So let's say that the agent's not responding to you. We can go on Cook County website, and we can find out who the owner is. And we can simply do this and get their phone number. Does that make sense? So let's say that I know the property next door was flipped, and the agent, I'm calling him and they're not responding to me, right? So I know the property next door was a flipper. I can go on Cook County property info, or maybe DuPage County, or wherever you're at, and find out who owned that property, what their name was, and their mailing address. I simply go here, True People Search, and I search their address, and then I find their name, and I get their cell phone number. So, you know, there's no, you're gonna find the buyer's number, right? And everyone that calls you from all this marketing, save their info, save their info, save their info, save their emails, build your buyer's list, you know? And then go to every REI meeting, you know, common sense, just go to every REI meeting, gather emails, ask them where they're buying at. So that's another one. Go to auctions if you can. So auctions, these are, you know, like they have to close they have to come up with the cash tomorrow, right? So, you know, anybody that has to do that, obviously, you want them on your buyer's list, right? So make it, so this is building your buyer's list. Every day, especially the way to build it, the easiest way to build it is to get deals under contract. Without a deal, it's hard to build that list, right? Because it's like, I don't have nothing to sell you, right?
Most
So-
buyers, if they gonna buy, they want money.
Right. Right, because maybe that deal doesn't work for them. Maybe that deal in Palatine, you guys, doesn't work for them, but they're a big buyer. They're buying 30 a year. Ask them, hey, what works for you? And let me go find it, right?
Also, buyers know other buyers, right? But look at this, we're all wholesalers, right? To some degree, we're all sitting in the same room. Buyers are somewhere else sitting all in the same room, right? It's like, hey, you know, we got a property that's, here's the numbers, et cetera, et cetera. Oh no, that doesn't work for me. Hey, I know you know other people. Who you got anybody this works for? And now that buyer's helping you, you know, because they want to help their friends out too, you know? So always ask buyers if they have someone who would want this deal.
And then the last way is, of course, use us. So what we do is we purchased, like nationwide, we purchased the cash buyers list, and we skip trace it, and we get all their cell phone numbers, and we call them. So that's basically what we do when we're doing the voice drops for buyers, right? So you build, you know, like you're building your sellers list at the same time you should be building your buyers list. You know, like if you're not building either one, then you don't have a business. You're building those two as big as possible. The more buyers you have, the easier it's going to sell a property, right? Does it make sense?
Yes.
How to build your buyers list?
The list that you guys, the leads will get, some of the estate sales and probate, all this.
It's homeowners in your zip code. Yeah.
If you do want like,
It's a mix.
It's homeowners in your zip code. So, I mean, if the zip codes that you picked has someone who, you know, is recently divorced, probate, whatever have you, they're gonna be in that list.
Okay.
Yeah. There's no designation or description as to distress or non-distress. They're homeowners. They own the property.
We personally get pre-foreclosures too.
If they're in your zip code, yeah.
if you do want probate here as pre-foreclosure, talk to us after, and then we'll.
Yeah,
No,
we
that's a
have
separate
access
list.
to those
Yeah.
lists. Like if you definitively want a probate list, pre-foreclosure list.
It's just that there's a more
tax
cost
lien.
to it. That's all.
Yeah, there's way more cost to it.
Well, I know one guy, I can get his stuff for free, Andrew Holmes, he does his stuff.
Yeah.
So does anyone else have a deal they're analyzing and want to analyze? You have a deal? Come on up.
Oh, you gotta come on up. Come on, give her a hand, everybody. Make her feel welcome.
That's not really a deal yet.
So first, where did you find the deal?
Through the
drops?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I gotta jump in.
No, that's fine.
So the issue that I'm having with this person is they're not telling me, about the mortgage. They still have the mortgage, and he did say that he, took out some of the equity in the building to, renovate it because his wife has, MS. and
So is
he
it in
wanted to-
Cook County?
No, it's, I think is Mount Greenwood?
Cook County, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So if you go on,
I
I
went
know,
on there and I saw that he did it in 2015 for 200,000.
Went on where? Help everyone else out.
Tax assessor, Cook County tax assessor, website.
it's cookrecorder.com.
Recorder, there you go.
Yeah.
So write that down. If you're in Cook County, you can go to cookrecorder.com.
And every county will be different as far as what county you can look up the mortgages, so every county's gonna be
You
different.
want to pay a fee for it. You don't have to know.
No, it's free. So he got a mortgage for how much in 2015?
200,000.
200,000?
He purchased the building back in like 95 for like 90 something thousand. And then he took out the equity to.
So just estimate, I mean, like a mortgage, the first like 7 years, you're really not paying any principal at all, like very little.
Right,
So I'm estimating maybe he owes 195.
right,
That's it. So
okay.
then you know he owes 195, right? So he owes. Well, so what's the ARV you came up with?
That's the question that I had, with the Wolfpack area thing, is it the last one?
What was that?
The last one on
You can get on camera.
the.
Okay. So if you have the CRM, this will be calculated for you inside.
Right, so this
Yeah.
is the first, that's what I did.
Okay, so you got an offer 96.
Yes,
ARVs at 376.
376, okay. Just wanna make sure
What'd you
that's
get?
right.
What was the condition of it?
So I haven't, we had an appointment today, but he had to cancel because his wife had an appointment, so I
Okay.
rescheduled the appointment, so I didn't get to see it yet. But from what he said, it's moving ready, but he's got all these renovations, I think I emailed you guys about it. He's got all these renovations for, a disabled person, so he's got like a ramp on there, and then he's got like the rolling shower
okay.
and stuff.
That's just demo. That's all that the ramp is. So
Okay.
that's not really much of a cost.
Okay.
So would you say a cosmetic rehab, gut rehab, maybe
I'd
good
probably say
condition?
cosmetic.
So cosmetic, how many square feet is it?
With the basement, 2,920.
2,900 total.
Mhm.
So just estimate $20 a square foot. So we're looking at about maybe 47,000 somewhere around there. So I would say 57. So 57,000. Just so this is where people get hung up on making the offer, is that they get hung up on the rehab, right? I just came up with that in my head in like a minute. I just put $30 a square foot, $20 a square foot, $10 a square foot. If you're not buying yourself, you're just wholesaling it. There's no reason to get a totally accurate rehab number. Just the best thing to do is make the offer, right? Don't get caught up in, well, I gotta make it perfect. I just get the offer out the door. If you get the offer out the door, you create an opportunity to make, that's where the negotiation starts, because you can always show up and the offer is lower, right?
Any analytical people in the room, raise your hand if you're an analytical person. This is for you.
Yeah. So you got, like, the only thing that makes money in this business is making offers. If you never make it because you're too analytical, because you gotta overthink everything, then you're not gonna make any money at all, because you're never gonna make an offer. The more offers you make, the more opportunities you have, the more to make money, the more you make money.
Yeah, or the one offer they make, they sit there and stare at that one offer and like
Right.
try to figure out like, oh my gosh, this one offer, what's happening with this one offer? It's
Exactly.
like at that same time, the driver's got 100 offers out there, right? So you have to like assess yourself and figure out who you are in this business as well, and then say, okay, this person, I can't be this person for this business. I've got to be someone else for now, until I can hire somebody else to do the thing I don't like to do, right?
Yeah, but listen, our contracts are $10 earnest money, and if we default on the contract, our only default damage is $10. So what are you scared of, right? Why are you scared to make an offer?
And I had Akila, she kept, she was asking this question about, excuse me, she's got a great deal on the line. The seller wants $1,000 earnest money for all 3 of the properties. So I said to her, take your time period and extend your time period, your grace period, right? extend that grace period. If someone wants $1,500, $5,000, awesome, especially if it's a good deal. Say, sure, extend your time period. Extend the time that you have to look at the property. If you can't find a buyer in that time period, sorry, I'm out of the deal. Day 20 and it's supposed to go 21 days, sorry, doesn't look like it's gonna work for us. Just back out.
So it's called, extension, like, you have, from the moment you have an agreed contract,
Right.
you have a moment where you have to give them the earnest money. So if you can extend that for a week, 2 weeks, then during that week or 2 weeks, you find an investor that takes your position.
Uh-huh.
He's the one that puts earnest money in, not you, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to put it up. We do that on like Hubzu and HUD Home deals all the time.
Does that make sense? Everyone catch that? So do not get, go ahead, Terry.
So they make the demand, and then since the contract is a contract already with the $10, you just add an addendum, a small.
No, just change the $10. You're just changing the $10. The $10 isn't automatically in there, and if it is, you can just change it. So if someone is a stickler, they're saying, I want $1,000 earnest money, right? You say, okay, we're gonna need a little bit more time to investigate the property, you know, have an inspection, et cetera, et cetera. So if you have it at 10 days right now, maybe move it to 14, maybe move it to 20. And in that time period, you're looking for a buyer who's gonna put up maybe $2,500 earnest money. You give them the $1,000, now you're holding on $1,500 earnest money. Right? So if you have to back out of the deal for that buyer, if they don't buy, it's non-refundable for them, so you can still pay the $1,000 to the seller, or you can keep the $2,500 and tell the seller before your time is up, hey, it's not gonna work for me. Does that make sense? Now you don't wanna do that. The goal is to help people in this business, but to eliminate fear, that's what you do.
Right.
You eliminate the fear and you keep moving forward. That makes
So
sense?
back to your deal.
Oh, and then the rent is,
So-
$16.97.
16 what?
Like I put $16.50, but it's like
So-
$16.90.
So did the CRM make the offers for you, or
No,
it didn't?
it didn't.
Did
So
you
when-
plug in the ARV, the rent and square footage?
When I plugged it in, it didn't do that.
Why didn't it?
Okay.
We'll have to see.
So I'll have to, okay.
Well, all you gotta do is plug the square foot, the 3 highest comps, and the rent, and then you hit save. And if it didn't do it the first time, just hit refresh, and then it should pop up.
Also, too, you have to select the type of work the property needs.
Oh yeah,
So if you
rehab, yeah.
skipped over that, the type of work that the property needs, that's gonna give you your values of rent. So you're gonna have to select cosmetic, you know, full gut rehab, whatever. You're gonna have to select that, because that's a number in and of itself. It's picking either $10, $20, or $30.
So this deal, the highest cash offer, this is like a 15 grand wholesale fee, will be 191.
It's also on a busy street as well.
Okay, so that's a good point right there. So busy street, busy street, train tracks, it has no basement, but comps have basements. You're taking 20% off. Back of the lot, no garage. You can't build a garage on it. If the property has no garage, but you can build one, great. You estimate that garage repair inside of it. But if there's no room to build a garage, you're taking 20% off because all the comps have garages. You know, so you're taking 20% off of this now.
Mhm.
So the whole number changes,
Right.
right? So this is
Or a
now.
garage, just put 10K.
Does it you can't build a garage, you're saying?
No, it has a garage. It has a 3-car garage.
Okay, but it's on a busy street, you said.
Mm-hmm.
So it's on a busy street, so automatically we're taking 20% off. So now ARV on this is 300K. So you see that, now this is gonna, the cash offer is gonna drop about $76,000 just because of one thing that you missed on the 20%.
Because
Right.
on a busy street.
Because it's on a busy street.
Right.
Because, people wanna live on a residential side street, they don't wanna live on a busy street.
Who here lives on a busy street?
Well, let's say, in LaGrange.
Who loves it?
Let's say like in LaGrange,
Yeah.
that's Manheim Road, so
Yeah.
LaGrange. You think people would wanna live in that area? You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah, I mean, those homes are.
The formula has worked for us. You know, it just works.
No, this is
Most
only,
people don't wanna live on a busy street.
this is now
We
only
just don't.
138.
Yeah.
So let's say it's on a busy street and it has no basement and the comp site basement. Now you're taking actually 40% off. Because that's two things that is huge that will take off from the ARV, right? The property's on back of the lot. Why do they sell so cheap? Because they're on the back of the lot, you can't build a garage, right? So there's two things going against the back of the lot properties. It's on the back of the lot, that's 20% off, and it has no garage, so that's 40% off, just because it's on the back of the lots. That's in Chicago, we have like little properties here and there that are on back of lots. Does that make sense? So your cash offer is only 138 on this one, because of the busy street.
But what does he owe?
How much is he asking for it? She's laughing.
He asked for $450,000.
Oh, wow.
Is it a multifamily?
No, it's a single family home.
So he's asking-
It's 2-story, so he's got like an upstairs.
How much does he owe? 195.
It's
So look at this. So he owes 195, and your offer is 138. Do you make that offer?
No,
Yeah.
No, you don't.
okay.
No,
I
you
thought
don't.
so.
Because you're gonna kill all the offers below it. It just kills all rapport.
I just wanted
If
to-
he owed, let's say he owed only 100, or maybe he owed 130, maybe he owed 140, 145. I would make the offer because he might come up with $7,000 to closing, you know. But if it's like 60 grand off, so he's got to come to closing with about 60 grand.
What he did was, he took out some of the equity to do some renovations to accommodate his wife. So he probably would have been okay had he not took out some of the equity and refinance and
Yeah.
stuff. when he did that.
But he still wants $450,000, so we're almost $300,000 away.
So with him, I mean, he's just unrealistic on his price. Right.
He's super unrealistic, and I think that he's comparing his property and the renovations that he did
Yeah.
6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Not 6 or 7, like 3 or 4 years ago.
So this is out of the
Property,
question.
it's just
You're not even gonna offer
not-
that.
No, I
right?
just wanted to make sure I was right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what about this property? Is it livable? Can you move into it, or
That's
is
what he
it?
said, it's moving ready.
It's
I
moving
haven't
ready.
said it yet.
Okay. So you should be able to make the rental and offers, sandwich, and wholesale. You should
Also make the net listing offer.
the net listing offer is going to be a lot lower than 450. I mean, it's going to be probably under, like, I'm just estimating probably like 220, 210, just estimate off the top of my head. So it's not even close to 450 still, so he may not take that either. But then the other offer is maybe helping him with short-term rentals, right? Maybe he has you can do rooms, or you can do the entire house, the entire building, and I'll help him make more money on his property, right?
A couple other things too is like his reasoning for selling, why he wants to sell, and the time frame in which he wants to sell it, right? So what are those two things?
So
Maybe
he
list it.
wants to sell because his wife has MS and they want to get out of that home. It's too much space.
It's too difficult, they need
Yeah,
like
too
one level
difficult.
of ranch or something
Yeah,
like that.
and he said they want to get out within the next month or two.
That's number two, okay.
Yeah.
So is he motivated?
He seems motivated, but I don't think he's as motivated as he says he is. Just how he was speaking on the phone, it didn't seem like he was that motivated.
You ever read like in that listing offer, if the house is like fixed up, ready to go, like it was a flip property, and it's like the house looks really nice. You're gonna leave with the
Yeah.
net listing, like
Yeah, we do leave with net listing
Yeah,
sometimes.
again, you lead with the best offer, so that offer isn't the best. It's the offer we start with, which is the wholesale offer. It's our foundation, but it's not the best offer. So now the minute the wholesale offer isn't the best, you have to go back and look at it and say, okay, based on everything he said to me, which offer is now the best offer? And if you don't have all the information, you've gotta go get it. Like, if you don't know if he's willing to keep the property in his name for a year before it sells, which would allow you to do a wholesale lease option or a sandwich lease option or short-term rental, you gotta go back and get that information, because you don't know if you can make that offer yet.
There's a lot of questions online. You
Oh,
want-
really?
I'll read them out.
Oh, sorry. All right, give her a hand. Great job.
Does
Okay.
anyone have any other deals they want to go over?
So what offer are you gonna make though?
I'll probably try a lease, essentially.
Sandwich lease option? Okay. And is that an area that you think will do good with Airbnb?
I'm not really sure.
Have you seen the property?
No,
You haven't? Okay.
Where is it, Mount Greenwood?
not really.
Oh yeah, it's great, great area.
Next
The
to
Mount
Bethel.
Greenwood, a lot of firemen and policemen live over there.
Yeah. I would set it. I would set a time to go see the property. I mean, earlier they were talking about a deal that they have in Palatine. The person said 240 over the phone. Just from going to see the property, they went to 220, and then after just talking with them, they went to 210. Right? So 30 grand came off of the price from being a real person, right? Okay.
Anyone else have a deal they wanna analyze? Like, you're talking to the owner? Or anyone has a deal under contract we don't know about, that you wanna bring it up, how you found it, that, how you closed recently or anything?
I just would, so my comps are high, cause it's like, if this is promotion, that's the only thing, the only block that's not sale. Not about, it's over $705 to $1 million on everything over here. There's nothing else over here but that building is perfect. So my comps go up to $600,000, then, how, how you.
Well, you don't want to. I mean, you don't want to pick arbitrary numbers. So, like,
You wanna get real numbers.
You want to get real numbers. So, in your case, like, if you're dealing with a unique situation, you want to get you want to work with an expert in that area and in that field, right? So, if you're like you're dealing with a property that's out in the country, like, go find who's the best agent, who's the person who's got their billboard on the wall, along the highway, and call them up and say, hey, what does it cost for you to run comps for me on one property? Pay them the $50 to figure it out. Yeah.
I know you guys knew what you're looking at, right? Which one?
Ooh, I like that.
I see it on your face if you have one.
Well, I sent you a few, so.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanna talk about it, we can analyze it.
I mean, it's a 2-unit, some down home in the city, back a lot,
Where'd you find it from?
$500.
Driving for dollars.
Sweet.
Okay, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, and then just skip trace the owner, cold called, and yeah, they want
How'd you script trace them? What'd you use?
REI skip,
Skip?
Yeah.
Okay.
and called them, spoke with her. She said they're looking to sell in like May, because that's when their tenants move out and they don't wanna take care of the property anymore. They recently remodeled it.
What's the ARV on it?
440.
And repaired?
I don't think there's any, I mean, because they recently redid it.
Okay, and then what does he want?
They want around that amount.
440?
Yeah,
Okay.
450 is what they actually said.
450? Okay.
Right.
So then, if there's no repairs needed, max cash out was like around 290.
Right,
So still make offer depending on what they owe. You know what they owe?
no,
Okay. Find out what they owe by going to quickrecorder.com, putting the pin in, and then you can see what they owe on it. So if they owe under 290, I would make that offer.
yeah,
And then
definitely
maybe-
trying to sell it for them.
And maybe you can do a straight option. If they're just looking to sell it,
Yeah.
or you can still make the rent to own offer. No, you can make all the offers.
Yeah,
right?
all of them.
Yeah.
All of them are really working on that one.
Good stuff.
Okay. So driving for dollars again. That's good.
Oh, it didn't look good initially outside, it was back of the lot, and it wasn't it's not in the best area, it's east of Humboldt Park, so there's a lot of good opportunities in that area of properties.
Yeah.
And it from the outside, but then the inside, it was remodeled. So, yeah.
Anthony asks, how can you repeat how much the rehab per square foot again?
So that's in the system, and it's also in the training. So rehab per square foot, Anth, is it goes cosmetic, and then it goes which is like 10. It goes like medium repair 20, and then gut rehab is like 30. And there's a few options in the CRM that you can choose. James also said, it was my understanding that giving earnest money to homeowner during signing of contract, getting signed receipt makes it bona fide and able to have notice on title. Do you recommend giving $10 earnest money to homeowner with receipt and recording it on title? That a good method? Personally, for me, I just like giving the earnest money directly to my attorney. He can figure out what to do with it.
Anthony asks if you wholesale short sales.
You can, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
Really long
We don't
time.
wholesale short sales just because it's, just talking to my attorney, it's a gray area that we don't wanna get into.
Yeah.
It takes a long time too.
And you're dealing with the banks and
And we have, you can get a contract approved on a short sale for $100,000, for example, and then 6 months later, they come back and say, we want 140. So no, it's no longer a deal, so you just wasted 6 months of your time,
yeah.
you know.
Any other questions?
So, I mean, the main thing you guys gotta focus on is just make offer, that's it, and then, not just make one offer, but try to make 4 or 5, as many offers as you can on every lead, right? cause the only reason you're not doing deals and making money is because you're not making offers. That's it. That's the only way you correlate. That's it. Right? 'Cause it-
You said the rehab was 10, 20, 30, right? 10 is regular cosmetic.
So
20
yeah, gut rehab is estimate 30, 20 cosmetic, 10, it's already in good shape. No, nothing's needed really.
Have you ever been in a situation where you couldn't sell a property, and what would you do with it?
We turn them into option listings. So we just approach the owner and say, hey, like, for example, you're dealing Drake, the guys that looked at it said need 110 grand of rehab. So doing the formula, you know, they needed to be at like 35K, you know. So we can go back to the owner and say, hey, listen, you know, the property needs too much work. We can try to get them down on price, maybe try to get them down 25K and create a spread because the buyer's stuck at 35. Or we can approach the owner and say, hey, listen, we can still net you 35K. We have a company we work with that can do an option and they can put it on the market for you and find a buyer. And they just add their fee on top, so you net the same amount. We just add our fee on top of it and put it on the market.
Yeah.
It's a straight option.
Straight option, and then we list it.
Yeah. I would say start with them trying to get an amendment to the price. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you know, based on lack of feedback from our equity partners and the amount of work that the property actually needs, I recommend that we amend the price to X. That exact phrase. Start there. If they don't want to amend the price, they don't want to move it at all, say, you know, you got two options. You could give them both options at the same time too. Option number one would be amending the price. Option number two would be, you know, keeping the price the same and doing the net listing. You just walk them through that.
Who's making at least like 2 offers a day or 3 offers every day, like to be honest? Who's making at least? Okay, and you guys have a couple deals under contract already, right? See, you make offers, you get deals under contract, create opportunity to make money, right? Like our company personally is at probably like at least 40 to 70 offers a day. I don't micromanage everybody's at least 70 to 75, 70 offers a day at least. So we're, and that's why we got so many deals that we should sending out all the time because we don't never go down in offers, we go up, right? Like today, maybe this week we're making 70 offers a day, but maybe 2 months from now we're at 100 a day, right? I'm trying to outsource and bring people on our team and make more offers, right? You yourself can maybe make 2 to 3 offers a day, but you got to do that consistently. And then when you're making money, I can now hire a VA, right? Now the VA is allowing me to make 6 offers a day, right? And now I'm making 6 offers a day, and now I recruit a realtor on my team. Now I got 2 people on my team. Now I'm at 9 offers a day. That's how you grow your business. That's how you create the business. Because right now it's with no team, it's just work, and I have to do everything. I'm a one-man show, right? Bill's got VA. How many VAs you got?
There's like 9 of them.
9 VAs. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
He's
for 2 different
got 9 VAs.
Or they local, I mean, they go from reality overseas or they.
They're virtual.
Every single one is in the Philippines.
Did you train them?
Every single one.
Making offers, are you just talking to sellers, or are you talking to agents, or are you talking to?
Anyone that has a home, we're making an offer. Whether it's through an agent or through an owner, we're making an offer. It doesn't matter.
So once you get that lead and I mean, finding the funds, investing as in a rehab.
Well, I mean, we have a.
What am I going too fast? I mean, like.
No, you're good. So are you talking about doing a rehab yourself, or are you talking about wholesaling?
I'm
Okay.
trying to get everything and
So if you're looking to do rehab yourself, we've got lenders over there.
Raise your hand, boys.
There are lenders. So if you're looking to do a rehab yourself, there's lenders over there. What we do is we teach new investors to wholesale, meaning that there's no investment involved.
Yeah. Your investment's $10 and you can get it back. So we'll show you how to do that.
So the future of everybody, what you should strive to is to create a business, not just be a one-man show trying to figure everything out and do one offer every other day, right? The only way to get there is consistent daily offers, right? And there's a lot of guys like, oh, my website's not ready, right? And so I'm not gonna make an offer because my website's not ready, right? Like that's the dumbest thing. You make offers first and then you fix your website after you make the offer.
At night,
At
when everyone's
night,
asleep, when you can't
right?
talk to sellers.
You do what makes money first, and then after the activity that makes money, you do that first, and everything else comes late at night when you can't talk to sellers.
Yeah.
They get that in your head, like, I'm making offers no matter what, I'm committing to it, I'm making, it's like I brush my teeth, I make 3 offers a day. It's my daily ritual. There's no way that you're gonna make money in business without doing that. You gotta, get that like, drilled in your head, Let's say the system's not working for you, but you know how the formula works, right? Let's say that, just make the offer. Like, who cares if the system didn't make the offers for you? Just make the offer through, the formula, It doesn't matter.
So these 4 things on the board is really the only things you should be doing every single day. So number 1, you're marketing. Marketing for what? Sellers. Number 2, you should spend as much time as possible talking to sellers. Number 3, you should spend even more time making offers to those sellers. And number 4, you should be marketing for and building relationships with buyers. Every single day. One thing I know we didn't put on here for buyers is Craigslist, putting up little ads on Craigslist every single day. Craigslist, you just kind of have to keep being persistent with it. But how many leads are getting right now from buyers on Craigslist?
Like 1 or 2 a day, yeah.
So 1 or 2 people a day on Craigslist by buyers from Craigslist, just by continuing to put ads up on Craigslist every single day and making sure that they're up and running. So you should be marketing for and building relationships with buyers every single day.
This is the way you gotta look at it. It's like, your planning is, you're building a business for the future. Today, maybe you have 10 leads in your system to follow up with every day. But if you're making 3 offers a day, next month you should have over 100, right? That you're following up with every day. Maybe you don't get the offer right away, but the key is gonna be in the follow-up. That you're
Always in the follow-up.
always in the follow-up, right? And the CRM will automate the emails for you. You can also text or call them. But you gotta think in your head, I have to make 3 offers a day. Maybe I won't make money in the next 30 days, but one of those 3 offers may be 20 grand in 6 months. How do you know that's not gonna happen, right? So we have deals where 2 years later, we're following up every month and we close a 20 grand deal. 2 years later, most people wouldn't even follow up with, most investors that come in this business, all they do is make the offer and never follow up. Oh, that guy didn't want the deal, and there's no follow up at all.
Anthony asks, do you make offers to listed properties below value? You absolutely can, and I recommend you do it.
Yeah. So you're building your follow-up list as big as possible. Like I have 20, 30,000 people to follow up with every day, right? You maybe have 100, but you want to get to that point where you're at 10,000 people you're following. That's when business is simple. I go to my follow-up, I follow up 10,000 people, I get 4 deals, right? That's when it's simple. But you have to get there, right? The only way you get there is by making offers every day. That's it. That's the only way. You guys in the room now that are not making 3 offers a day at least, 2 offers a day at least, you're never going to be successful in business. Just point, period, blank. That's it. If you're still trying to figure out your website, still trying to figure out your system. Let's say you guys don't know how to use the dialer. Just get on the phone, call. Just go on Zillow, get a phone number, and call. That's all the system is doing for you. It's just trying to automate everything for you. That's it. The system's just trying to automate the call. The lead comes in. So if the dialer's not working for you, you don't know how to figure it out. Just make 3 or 4 calls and make 3 or 4 offers. Just get on the phone. You know what I mean? And stop making excuses for yourself. The dialer's not working. I'm not going to make an offer today. What do you mean? The dialer's just calling people. Get on the phone. Pick up your cell phone.
If you guys didn't know, Russell's not sugarcoating it today.
But he's telling the truth. though.
100%. 100%.
Oh, Russell, I know, I just saw my zip code, so my leads are in my portal.
Your leads are in your CRM?
Yes, they are there, right?
If we sent them to you and said we're uploading them, yeah.
Yeah, I think I sent just that, I saw something. Okay. So
Yeah.
Stop cranking the call.
Right. Yeah, so that's what you guys gotta focus on. Like, hey, am I gonna watch the game today, or am I gonna make that 3 offers for my future, for my business, right? Yep.
Go ahead.
We got a call today, and, we're green greener than the grass, But, we're gonna stumble through this, we're just stumbling. Today, we got our first call where somebody said, we
Okay,
Awesome.
awesome.
And, he was like, are you an agent? And we were like,
Say, no, you're an investor.
We're
Yeah.
not agents, we're investors. And actually, my wife was talking to him too. And, he said he had a property sale in South Loop.
Okay.
It's a town.
Did you get did you follow the script in the CRM? Did you gather all the information? Or?
We fell on, we stumbled all over the script. We fell
Okay.
on the page. But we did ask, we got some of the questions asked, and, some of us answered.
Okay,
He did tell us how much he wanted for the property.
okay, okay. So what did you get? Did you get the 4 different offers? Did you get the ARV on it, or?
Yeah, I mean, we still kind of struggling with, I was looking for a place to get, I tried to get on the CR.
Come up here, come up here. Let's just do this right now, like, there's no.
Give Clarence a hand, everybody. Everyone got this written down?
She just wants to shake this off.
Yes?
She really wants to shake this off.
So
Everyone good on this? You got this? Yes, I'm gonna erase it.
Did you get the rehab? What's the rehab, did you ask him?
He said it was, we looked at it, well, he said it was pretty much, it doesn't need any work, that's what he said. He
So
said
it doesn't need any work,
He
so,
said it didn't need any work, but we looked on the pictures.
so you select move and ready, right?
Yeah,
So what are the options in the CRM right now?
It's move and ready, cosmetic, heavy rehab, which is gut rehab, and then, new construction and addition required. New construction would be like if you're just buying the land, right? You're just buying a lot. So we're gonna select move and ready. You already got the square footage in here, 2,000. Is there a basement?
no, it's a
No
town, it's a
basement?
townhouse, no basement.
Okay.
I think
You
it's
ready,
just a
you ready
it's-
for the 3 comps in here? Where'd you get those?
I tried to, I did the best I could, in that area, they don't have that many townhouses right by the lake. I mean, it's kind of by the lake, so
Yeah.
it's not a whole lot of comps in that area for townhouses, it's mostly condos, so I didn't
So,
know, so I was using condos too, as, for comps, so.
So you missed the street address and then all the
I got-
address info.
I got his address, we got his address.
You didn't,
I
it's not
didn't
in
put it
here.
in. Okay.
So if you give me the address, I can show you like in 2 minutes how to get the 3 highest comps and then plug it in. Just get the address.
I have a question about the lead sheet. When it says basement, yes or no, is it saying that does it need a basement or does it have a basement? Because when I.
It's saying, because there's a calculator in the system,
Right.
so if there's a basement, it's gonna calculate the rehab costs. Cause if there's 1,000 square foot in the basement and it's a gut rehab, then it's gonna add 30 grand to that. So the calculator, you gotta know the calculator to get the offers is a square foot, above ground basement, it's the condition, you select which condition it is in, and the 3 highest comps and the rent. So there's 5 things. So if you get those 5 things, you're gonna get it should calculate the offers for you.
Okay, so Anthony, Tony had another question. He says, how many offers are we making a day? How can we send more offers? And then is there a way to automate the offers? So right out of the gate, the way to make more offers is you make more offers, right? You look at all of the time that you're using doing something else and you use that time to make more offers, right? Number 2 is you just need more bodies, but you can't elevate to that until you, go ahead.
Go back to where you're at. So let's say that you did the voice drops and then you only got 3 or 4 leads where you can make offers. What do? Get on Zillow, get your phone out, call and make offers. Go on Craigslist, call and make offers. That's it. It's not that hard. It's really simple, guys. It's like, you just have to get on the phone. Trayvon just closed the deal. How many offers are you making a day?
I try to make 20.
20 offers a day? That's why he's got deals under contract. How many deals he got under contract?
Right now, 4.
4 deals under contract. Okay. So that's the reason he has deals under contract, because he's actually making offers.
How are you making those offers?
We do voicemail drops. We use Mojo Dialer. We used to do direct mail. We don't really do that anymore because it's too expensive. But mainly voicemail drops is our bread and butter right now.
And you're making them over the phone, you're making the offer over the phone, via email, you're going to see the property and handing them, you know,
So what I do, just because of my situation with limited time, I always make the offer over the phone. If they're in the ballpark, or maybe they're just, not too far off, and it's just a matter of the repairs, I'll go take a look at the property if they're motivated, and then get the contract. If not, I'm trying to get the contract over the phone, and then go look at the property after I have the contract.
awesome. So no matter what, in some way, shape, or form, you're making the offer.
Absolutely.
Right? If they talk to you, they're a lead of some sort. Maybe they're a lead in 6 months from now, right? When the deal could possibly take place, you're still making the offer and you're making it over the phone. So when you make those offers over the phone and you don't go see them in person, are you sending them a physical offer as well, like in the via the internet?
Yes, we do a written offer letter signed with my signature. We let them know, hey, if this price doesn't work for you, let us know what does. That way it kind of leaves it open for negotiation. Because I find that once we start talking numbers back and forth, they're more motivated to actually sell.
Yeah. So write that down. If you want to make more offers, you can make them over the phone if they're not super motivated, but you still have to physically send that offer via email. Right? It could be via DocuSign, it could be via PDF. Now, personally, I would not sign the contract because they could sign that contract and maybe never get back to you and hold you to it, right? Because you signed it,
Well,
right?
actually, mine's like a written offer letter. It's not.
Oh, it's a written offer letter. It's not the contract. Okay, so you could do that too, and that's already built into the CRM right now, right? So you could send that email with saying, hey, these are the 2 offers that I can make to you, and then boom. So that's a way that we've automated. So this is for Tony. In the Facebook group, that's a way to make more offers to people. You make it over the phone, say, hey, I'm going to send you this offer via email. It's going to explain everything. That's how you make more offers.
Yeah, and there's a lot of you guys that are just like scared, frightened of going on an appointment and meeting an owner, right? If you are that frightened to do it, just do it over the phone. Because it's better to make the offer than not to make an offer.
I know someone in this business who, for 2 years, they never even spoke to someone over the phone. But they still closed 70 deals within those 2 years.
70?
Yeah, they didn't even speak to him over the phone. Just text and email. But the point is that they still made the offer. But they personally never went and met that person via.
Yeah. And if you're
So there's literally no excuse today to not make offers. There's no excuse.
And if you're so scared to make a phone call, just send an email with the offer.
Yeah.
So you're too scared to go on an appointment, you're too scared to make the phone call. It's better than not making an
Christine,
offer.
can we get Russell some like tea or coffee or something today? Like a candy bar? I mean, something. Yeah, yeah. You know, we need to redo Valentine's Day or something. I don't know, man. Like, goodness, I'm gonna have a meeting with Russell after this, everybody. We're gonna. No, this is good though. We need this sometimes, right?
So I had an appointment today that they canceled, but it wasn't that I was scared. It was my first appointment. It was like I don't know where to start. Like, so could you guys do like kind of like a mock?
Yes, this is great. So one of my favorite videos that we did for the training is the anatomy of a successful appointment. And that's in module 1 at the bottom. Please, please, please watch that. If you're afraid of going to meet people at the property, watch that video over and over and over again. So number 1, you have to know that they need you, right? Like they need you, which can be kind of scary to think that someone's like getting ready to rely on you to, help them with their property. But they need you and they think you're an expert. So like instantly you I don't know, you're like God in their eyes in a sense, right? They're like, oh my gosh, like I need help, and this person came out of nowhere, and like they're here to help me. Has anyone ever had who's done a deal or has got property under contracts, like have someone like tell them a story of like, oh my gosh, I don't know how you found me, how you called me. I'm so grateful, so thankful, like that you called me. This was like literally a miracle. Have you ever had that happen, Trayvon? Like someone's like, I'm so glad you called me right now.
Yeah, there was a gentleman last year on Super Bowl Sunday. We actually, I just was doing follow-ups with a bunch of old dead leads, and he was really excited that I called him.
Yeah.
And we got the contract, and I actually did that deal with Russell.
Yeah. Like some of these people are literally praying for you to contact them, and then when you do, they're like, oh my gosh, this is it.
I think she wanted more of a role play, right?
Oh, you want to? All right, here. Let me walk. Let me walk in. Hold on. Russell, come in through the door.
So when you show up on the appointment, bring the 3 lowest comps with you, bring the repair checklist with you, bring everything you talked about over the phone with you, and then when you show up, depending on personality type is how you are. There's go through the negotiation part of it, go through the coaching section, and then where it says negotiations, I talk about all about personality types. So if if you label them social and you show up in their social, you're now social. You're now a social person. You're a chameleon. Who they are, you are, right? So I'm going there just to get to know them. That's it. I'm not there talking about the house, property, nothing. I'm gonna have the repair checklist on me. I'm gonna check everything off. But my goal is to get to sincerely know this other person, and I'm not gonna bring up the property or price until they do. So that's the whole. That's it.
Right.
That's a social strategy. That's it.
So yeah, so to physically go through it again, you want to get there probably 30 minutes before, drive the neighborhood. Like driving the neighborhood is a big deal before, right? Because if you go to your first appointment, second or third, whatever, like most of these people have lived in their home 10, 15, 20, 30 years. They know that John and Sally just sold for $373,000. They know that Tim just bought for $293,000. Like they know the numbers, like whether or not they talk to an agent. Some of them don't, but a lot of them do, right? So you want to make sure that you drive the neighborhood, not only to pick up other properties, but to get familiar with the neighborhood, right? You can be relatable at that point, like, oh yeah, I saw that other property across the street, it looks terrible. Or around the bend from you, it looks terrible, right? So you can do that. And write all that information down. And then just to kind of reaffirm what Russell just said too, always go to the appointment. And you can even say this to the seller. You could say, hey, I'm really just here to see if what we do is a fit for the situation that you're in with your property. If not, my only goal would be to help you, get you with someone who can help you based on what you need, right? Now you're just a consultant or a friend, and it makes it easier for you. It takes the pressure off of you and them. And it really helps too. Imagine like going to a therapist. You're not going to tell your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend like what's wrong, like what's the matter. But you go to the therapist who has an unbiased approach to you. You tell them everything. You don't even know this person. You tell them everything, right? But over the phone, when you make that offer over the phone, it's like, man, this is a salesperson. They want my property. But when you meet them, you're now a therapist. You're now a consultant, and they're gonna give you much more information.
Well, normally what I do when I do it is the first one I go in, I look at the environment. Say like if I go, I see a picture. I start with the picture about who's in the picture. Start loosening up, start building rapport.
Yeah, you can do that.
Start building rapport, then start opening, start talking, talk about the kids, talk about the family. So then they start opening up, start talking. So you look at the environment and say, oh, that's a nice picture there. There's your son there, your grandmother there.
Yeah, you can absolutely use your environment to help you out, but you want to start off with that. Knock on the door, say, hey, is it okay if I take pictures? Why are you going to take pictures? Well, it's just going to be for reference for my team and I, if it makes sense for us to move forward. And then Mr. Missel, I do want to let you know that I'm really just here to see if what we do is a fit for you. If not, we'll let you know and try to help you out any other way. So I would write that down. I would say that every time. I'm really just looking to see if what we do is a fit for you. If not, I'll let you know and try to, maybe I know someone who can help you. What?
We're at 7.
Oh, yeah. One more question. Go ahead, Lloyd.
There's some place you go in and you're gonna need hard shoes, and I always have a flashlight. I noticed that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Everything I hit, everything I step on nails, like I said, need to be fully gutted. So
Yeah.
you're gonna need a flashlight everywhere you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, and a lot of people too, depending upon where you're going or how you want to present yourself, a lot of people go to properties like super dressed up, looking real nice and stuff. Like, I wear jeans that have paint on them, boots that have paint on them, and, a shirt just like this. And most people are like, oh, he's in the business. You don't want to go like you're a realtor or whatever. Like, don't do that.
Jargon experience, like, since some people try and pick up the phone,
Mhm.
and they might call you back like right away. What's that conversation like if they haven't heard your voice drop?
That's easy. That's real easy. So if you do a voice drop, someone hasn't heard it, but they're like, hey, I just got a missed call from you. Say, oh yeah, hey, my name is Daniel, and I work with this company, and we're actually looking for our next project. I was calling to see if you had a property you're looking to sell. My name is X. My company is X. And the reason we called you is because we're looking for our next project. So I was calling to see if you had a property you're looking to sell.
All right, we're going to end
Good?
the training.
Yes, that is it. Give yourselves a hand. Thanks for coming out. If you come for the 7 o'clock meeting, yes, I see some people, different faces. Okay, you can hang out, you can get some water, use the bathroom, whatever you need to. There's drinks at the bar, food at the bar, not paid by us, paid by you, thank you. And we'll get started in probably like the next 30 minutes or 7:30. So everyone else, feel free to